Hello and welcome to Well Control for Drilling, Intervention and Workover. In this video, we will look at the swabbing and its detrimental effect on bottom hole pressure and how to deal with it. Let's dive in. This is our well schematic and we will trip pipe outflow. First, let's look at what happened when we trip outflow on pipe, dry pipe. We are taking steel outflow. That will cause a mud drop in the annulus, and that mud drop will cause a reduction at bottom hole pressure here. All right. And what happens if we pull outflow on wet pipe? We are taking out both steel and mud outflow. All right. So that will cause more mud drop in the annulus, which in turn causing more bottom hole pressure drop at the bottom of the well. So when we trip outflow, we lose bottom hole pressure. What happens when we pull outflow at full gauge BHA or bowed up BHA and we pull out fast? We actually create a friction pressure since now the string acts as a piston. It will suck the mud up, and the mud in turn sucks the formation fluid into the wellbore. All right. So when we pull outflow fast, we may end up having this combo. Number one, we lose some part of bottom hole pressure, hydrostatic pressure, due to displacement. And number two, we create a frictional swab pressure causing a suction of formation fluid into the wellbore. And formation fluid usually has lower density than our mud. So therefore, we may end up having a net reduction of hydrostatic pressure at the bottom of the well. So if our bottom hole pressure is still overbalanced against the formation pressure, we're still okay. But in case we have negative or we are underbalanced against the formation pressure, the formation will flow. So we have a kick in that case, right? So that's the detrimental effect of swabbing, right? All right, now let's look at the factors affecting the swabbing effect. All right, here are the factors. Number one, the pulling speed, how fast we are spooling. Number two, the mud viscosity. And number three, the BHA configuration, and how is our BHA right now, is it bowed up or not? That's the clearance. It will affect the clearance in the annulus between the BHA and the bore wall. All right, and now how are we going to deal with the swabbing? The key thing is we must always keep the hole full of correct mud weight. How to do that? We check the trip tank displacement versus our calculated dry pipe and wet pipe displacement. If there is no swabbing, the trip tank displacement and the fill up into the well shall be consistent every 3, 4, or 5 stands, and they are near our calculated figures. And if we swab, the trip tank displacement and the fill up will not be anywhere near our calculated values. And those figures, might fluctuate. So the technique that we usually deploy is we increase the mud weight prior to the trip out. We increase the mud weight by a margin. We call it a trip margin, a safety margin, to offset the swabbing effect, all right, by using the annular pressure loss APM. So what is APM? That's the difference between the ECD versus our mud weight, static mud weight. So when you're drilling or when you are pumping, you have ECD. That figure is measured by the PWD tool, all right? So you have your static mud weight, you deduct those two figures, you get your APL in PPG. And the next thing is you can do is you control your pulling speed, right? All right, now, the worst case, somehow you find out that you have the wrong displacement when you trip out, all right? Along your trip, you have wrong displacement. So you are in doubt. What you need to do? You need to flow check, all right? And the flow check, just take time to do your flow check. It will tell whether the well is flowing or not, all right? If the well doesn't flow, all right, and you already have a wrong displacement, meaning you only swabbed a certain volume of formation fluid into your wellbore. But now because your net bottom hole pressure is still overbalanced against the formation pressure, so the well doesn't flow, right? But you already got formation fluid in the well. What you need to do is you trip, you run back, you go back down to bottom. At bottom, all right, while you're going back down to bottom, remember to fill your pipe, of course. At bottom, you circulate mud in, mud out evenly, all right, check for gas reading. And then you increase the trip margin, flow check again, and then trip out, right? What happens if your well flows? That's the worst case. Now you have to install the full opening safety valve at the open position, and then you close it, right? And then you shut in the well on the annular BOP. And then you install the gray valve. After that, You record your certain pipe pressure, certain casing pressure, and the peak end. All right, and then you make up your top drive. You reduce the closing pressure of your annular BLP. Okay, for stripping, you're gonna strip back to bottom. All right, remember to fill your pipe when you strip back to bottom. At bottom, then you kill the well. Those are the procedures. All right, and I hope the explanation is clear and simple enough for following up and understanding. If you have any comment, anything, just give me a comment, and any question, just drop me a note. Hope you enjoy it. Cheers.